Hi class, happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. And also, I am looking forward to what you guys are going to be doing during this lesson. I'm also looking forward to your writing this week. It's a very fun project, so make sure you check out that project. Going back to our reading and what we're going to be doing this week, we are going to be looking at climate change and how people have fought and been advocates for climate change. So my first question to you guys is for you to think about, what do you know about climate change? What do you already know about it? I'd like you to take a moment, pause this video, and write down a few things that you know about climate change and what exactly that means. What does climate mean, and how has it been changing? Or global warming. What does global warming mean? So take a few moments and write some notes down, pause this video. Okay, you should be done. You should have paused the video to write down those notes. Now, moving forward, I'd like us to take a picture walk with the article we're going to be viewing today. A picture walk means you are going to be looking at the images, and through the picture walk and looking at these images, you are going to make predictions of what the article will be about. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for you guys to see this article so you can do the picture walk. Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So here we have our first picture. What do you notice in this picture? What do you think is happening? What is this? What do you think this movement is called? What sort of actions are they taking? And we have another picture. Same idea. What do you predict will occur in this article? What do you predict this article will be about? What topics do you think it will hit on? Besides climate change, what about climate change do you think it's going to discuss? So we just had those two images. From those two images, what do you think this article will be about in regards to climate change? It's going to discuss the topic of climate change, but what exactly? Okay, for our essential questions, I'm going to go to this. Okay, so here's our essential question for today. We actually have two. Why does a movement begin? And then my second question is, how does a movement spread? And how does it continue, basically? So how does it spread / continue? The skill we're going to be working on today is inference. So as you can see in this chart, these are how we're going to work on this skill. We're going to be looking at our text evidence, and that means it's a quote directly from the text. And then we are going to be looking at our background knowledge. And with our background knowledge and the text evidence, we're going to be making some inferences or assumptions of what the text is trying to tell us. So we're going to first start off with looking at our headline now. The headline is called, "Young People Urge Their Leaders to Act Quickly Against Climate Change." So from this headline, you can also make a prediction of what the article is going to be about. In regards to climate change, it's going to be about how young people are urging leaders to act quickly. I wonder how they are urging them. What does that mean? And how are young people able to do that? So here we have the caption says, climate protesters demonstrate in London, England in September 20th, 2019. Protesters around the world join rallies calling for action against climate change ahead of a United Nations summit in New York City. So these are all people in London. They're coming together and joining to fight for a cause. So remember, my essential question is, how does it begin, and how does it spread? So we see the beginnings of it, but how is it able to spread? Young people from more than 150 countries skipped school on Friday, September 20th. Oh, I'm wondering why they skipped school. It's probably going to tell us in the next sentence. The youth were leading another series of worldwide protests. The effort across countries showed unity. They urged world leaders to act more quickly to fight climate change. So from this text, what I'd like you to think about, it says our text evidence, the youth were leading another series of worldwide protests. The effort across countries showed unity. So they are what sort of inference can we make about the youth? They are leading another series of worldwide protests. So another, that's a really interesting word. They're doing another series of protests. And as you could see in that image that I just had earlier in the article, this is what a protest looks like. These people, they're holding a protest is they're holding signs. We can make that inference from our text and from the image that this protest involves a lot of people coming together, holding signs, and they are all fighting for a cause. When they're holding these signs, they're fighting for a certain cause, and they are wanting to have change. They're wanting to make an impact. Let's see what happens next. The protest started in Australia. So this is kind of answering where did it start and how did it spread. Where an estimated 300,000 young people in the cities took to the streets. Similar scenes soon began unfolding in towns and cities across the globe. People in small island nations such as Kiribati began protesting. Booming cities like Mumbai, India began protesting. Protesters gathered in small groups in Africa and in swelling masses in European capitals. So my question is, from this text evidence, it says the protest started in Australia, where an estimated 300,000 young people in the cities took to the streets. What sort of inference can we make about Australia and the very high number of people who are protesting during this time? Take a moment and try and make that inference, write it down, right? You don't have to write down the text evidence, but write down the inference. Using your background knowledge of numbers and of people, can you imagine seeing 300,000 people fighting for one cause? And that one cause was climate change. They're all coming together and protesting together. So take that moment and pause and write down your inference for this line from our text. There was another line from the text that also opens up your mind and kind of helps you to create an inference. The other line from the text was people in small island nations such as Kiribati began protesting. Booming cities like Mumbai, India began protesting. This, once again, this line from the text is helping us answer that essential question, how does it spread? So what I'm wondering is, using our background knowledge and using this text, what sort of inference can we make about the movement and the spread of it? So you're going to take a moment, pause the video, write down your inference from this text clue. There's people in the small islands doing it, as well as people in these big cities. What is this showing us about the movement, about the importance and significance of it? Take a moment and write down that inference. Now we're going to go back to our text, and I'm going to read a few more paragraphs. In London, England, thousands marched by the Houses of Parliament. Some held signs saying, "Winter is not coming, and I'm taking time out of my lessons to teach you." Remember, these people were going during school time, during the school day. They were holding those signs. So they're trying to teach people about climate change. Martha Lichtman is a 13-year-old from London, so not much older than you guys. She held a sign that read, "Oceans are rising, and so are we." Martha said teens are helping the environment by eating less meat and using less plastic. "It's still on the government to do something," she said. I'm wondering, what is she going to ask the government to do? And what sort of things could the government start doing? Well, maybe let's see in this next paragraph, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about how other places besides international, but in the Americas have helped to protest and fight for this change. Can leaders be pressured to make changes? Outside Washington, D.C., students at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring, Maryland, walked out of class. They prepared to meet other protesters near the Capitol building. At the Capitol, members of Congress who help make laws could see them. So that's why they're protesting at the Capitol, because they want those people of Congress, people who make laws, to see them. Maddie Graham, age 16, gripped a megaphone. She shouted with hundreds of her classmates. Whose future? Our future. So here you see someone protesting right here. The protest had monumental turnout that stretched across every continent. Still, it remains unclear whether the high-profile demonstrations could change the global forces contributing to climate change. Could elected leaders be pressured to make the difficult choices necessary to halt the world's warming? Ooh, this right here I think is, I'm going to copy paste that and put that into my inferences. What I'd like you guys to think about is with that text clue. Insert row below, just pasted that in there. So the question was from our text, can elected leaders, so that means people who are in the government, can they be pressured to make choices necessary to halt the world's warming? You can use inferences, you could create an inference based on this question on our text and based on your background knowledge. Do you think an elected leader? That would be like, you could think of an elected leader, one that you guys really know of, and yeah, one of the elected leaders that you really know of and that's very popular is Donald Trump, our president. He could make a change. Could he be pressured to make a change with the world's warming? How could he be pressured? So remember, the world's warming is the same thing as climate change. So I want you guys to think, do you think the president and other people within our government could be pressured to make that change for our climate and our world? So this kind of, going back to our article, remember, write down your inference, what you think. What do you think about this question? Do you think it's possible? Using our background knowledge and what our text has been discussing. Pause the video and take a moment to make an inference on this text evidence, plus your background knowledge. Okay. This kind of change is exactly what those behind Friday's marches have demanded. These people are demanding that change. This includes a swift shift away from fossil fuels. So that means away from certain chemicals, toward clean energy. It also includes halting deforestation. So that means stopping for deforestation. You see a forest right there. What's in a forest? Trees. Deforestation is taking away those trees and taking away our forests. Protecting the world's ocean and embracing more sustainable agriculture. So they have listed at least 1, 2, protecting the world's ocean, and 3 things that our government could do. Now the question is, are they going to do that? Are elected leaders or elected officials going to make that change? I'd like you guys now to, after this video, you're going to do your exit ticket. We're going to end off on that note. I hope you guys have a great Monday, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Remember, if you have any questions or you are unsure about anything within this read aloud, maybe you need some help on that skill of inference, or maybe you need some help reflecting on our essential questions, please feel free to join my office hours, 10 to 11 or 1 to 2. The link is on my Clever page at the top. Thanks, guys. See y'all later. Bye.